And it is 9 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Allen.
And I'm Cornell Wright. The 84th annual Sioux Empire Fair got off to a rocky start with rain putting a damper on the opening weekend. And that's not the only struggle that fairs have been battling over the past couple of years.
Yeah, we sat down with some fair organizers to learn more about how they're combating these problems and if the future of fairs is in any danger. It's our 9 o'clock top story.
Well, my hope would be that fairs don't go away. They've been around for hundreds of years.
Right now, we're just trying to keep up.
It's a lot of smaller communities and counties' identities.
One county where the fair is part of its identity is Turner County, home of the oldest county fair in the state.
There's a huge sense of responsibility to keep this fair going as it has.
And just like most things these days, their struggles began with the pandemic.
Through COVID, everything was down. Vendor sales were down, our actual number of vendors was down.
And since 2020, when sales were down, costs have been up for all fair organizers.
So everything has taken a pretty big jump. It's starting to stabilize, but as it costs more to do everything nowadays, it costs more for everybody. So obviously we see those increased costs as well,
forcing them to find new ways to make up for the loss.
We all deal with the same struggles. We just need to get creative, and whether that is trying to get more funding from your governing bodies that you work with, or it's increasing sponsorships, trying to work on more volunteerism. What we don't want to do is just automatically increase gate prices, food prices.
While they wish they didn't have to, sometimes fair organizers do have to pass those costs on.
Just like anything else, those costs all get on to the next person and on to the next person, so everybody gets to share that increase.
The Sioux Empire Fair entering its 84th year, and Turner County gearing up for its 143rd year is a testament that fairs are still profitable for themselves as well as the surrounding area.
Every entity that comes to this fair ends up taking money home, and then they put that back into their community.
And the county hired the folks that did the study for the economic side. They said we have a $35 million economic impact to Sioux Falls and the surrounding area.
Which means
I can say with confidence that we're in a better financial position than we were 12 years ago when I took over. I'm not worried about not talking to you a year or two from now.
Absolutely, it's here to stay.